Now, when you look at this hierarchy of needs, as a marketer, as a business owner, we've kind of come to an agreement that there's really only four primary areas that we can sell products or services into, four categories, if you want to call them. And those categories are, let me pull it down for you here: personal development, love slash relationships, wealth, and health. Those are the only primary top level categories of what products, what services, what offering you could have would fall under. Now, these things can overlap, as you see, and I'm going to quickly go through that as well. But what I want you to understand is that anything you sell fits into one of these four categories, and it directly ties to a foundational need that every human being has, every single one of them. Now, I'm going to start at the very top, which is personal development. Now, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you can see this, because I do have different colored lines here, but I want you to be able to see how they interact with these different areas. Now, there's some things that I could probably change, like, personal development. Could it relate to safety needs? Kind of, but not really. And again, I just want to keep it simple, if you will, for the purpose of this. But I want you to understand how these things overlap, and I want you to understand how these things influence. Um, so let's start at the very bottom, if you will. Let's start with health. So when we look at health, we look at the two foundational aspects of the hierarchy of needs. We've got physiological needs and safety needs. Now, again, could health fall into love and belonging? Yeah. When you start thinking about things like mental health and those types of things. But like I said, I want to try to keep this as simple as possible here. When we're looking at wealth, wealth actually spans the entire gamut. So you've got wealth that fits into physiological needs, because these things like food and shelter, to a large degree, and clothing, they cost money. So you need some form of wealth for those areas. Safety needs, personal security, employment, resources, health. Wealth is a big influencer on this category as well, on this level. Love and belonging. How does wealth influence love and belonging? Well, and this is where I wanted to kind of get into the dialogue of human behavior and what motivates people to do what they do. So if you're selling to a man, and I'm just giving you an example, because I'm not going to say that this does not apply to women, but more specifically, if you're selling to a man, one of the things that you can talk about, if you have a product that is related to wealth, is being able to take care of your family. That's important at the end of the day. So when you're talking about, sales copy, when you're talking about any type of, if you're doing a webinar, a sales call, if you understand what these fundamental needs are, you're able to speak to these things in a way that allows a person to map these things in their minds to these areas of their life. Love and relationships fits in all categories. So wealth, and I'll just go through wealth and finish it up. There's wealth also can lead to esteem, meaning status and recognition. Again, men tend to be drawn towards things that are around status and recognition. Again, not that women don't, but men tend to be driven by those things. And also self-actualization, when you think about being the best you can be, is that being in a safe, comfortable, and prosperous state, or is that being poor, living in lack, or living in limitation? Well, obvious, the answer is obvious there. It's the former. So wealth can, and the whole thing that I want you to really get here is that these things can be talked about in a way that allows someone to see why they need your product. It allows them to really understand the foundational need that they have for what it is you're selling. Love and relationships fits into all of them as well. And I have personal development as your top three: love, belonging, esteem, and actualization.